It is so nice to just sit here for a minute. Look at that rain coming down.
It's really coming down. I'm glad we're on this side of the glass.
Me too. The coffee helps, of course.
It definitely helps. It's funny, we were just talking about how chaotic this week has been, but sitting here, watching the rain, it feels like everything slows down a little bit.
I think we need that. Just a moment to breathe. It's loud out there.
It is loud, and I don't just mean the traffic, I mean the noise of everything. Interacting with people, meetings, phone calls, it's a lot of talking.
We talk a lot, but you know what I've been thinking about lately?
What's that?
I've been thinking about the talking that happens in between the big stuff, you know? The small moments, the hello in the hallway or the chat while you're waiting for the elevator.
Oh, the small talk.
Yeah, the dreaded small talk.
Why do we say dreaded? Why is it so scary? Because I feel that too. If I see someone walking toward me in a long corridor, I get this tiny spike of panic.
Exactly, that panic. It's a physical reaction. You think, do I look down at my phone? Do I pretend I'm texting? Or do I make eye contact? And if I say something, what do I say?
And you have about 3 seconds to decide.
Right, 3 seconds. And usually I end up doing this weird half smile and nodding, and then I walk away feeling awkward.
I know that half smile. I do it all the time. It's like, I acknowledge you exist, but please don't make me speak.
Yes, that is the perfect translation. But why is it so hard to just be casual?
I think for me, it comes from a feeling of pressure. I feel like if I open my mouth, I have to be interesting. I have to say something clever or funny. I can't just be boring. Boring is scary. We are terrified of being boring.
I don't know if it's boring exactly. I think we're terrified of being ignored.
Ignored?
Yeah, think about it. If you're boring, that's okay. Most people are boring. But if you say something small, you put yourself out there, and the other person's face doesn't change, that moment feels brutal.
Oh, wow, that's true. I can handle being boring. I can't handle being invisible.
Right? It's that fear that you will offer a connection and the other person will just let it drop.
And in that 1 second, your whole body gets hot.
Yeah.
You start thinking, why did I open my mouth? You just want to melt into the floor.
And the funny part is, the other person might not even think it was weird. They might just be tired, or maybe they didn't hear you.
But in our heads, it's a disaster.
Total disaster. We treat a conversation about the weather like it's a high-stakes performance. But actually, the other person is probably just as nervous as we are.
Do you think so?
I do. I think most people are walking around just trying to avoid awkwardness. So if you say, wow, it's cold today, they aren't judging the quality of your sentence. They're just relieved that you broke the silence.
Relief. That's a nice way to look at it. You're offering them relief. Yeah, I had this happen the other day. I was at the grocery store, I was standing in line, and it was a really long line. The cashier was having some trouble with a machine or something, and the guy in front of me shifted his weight, sighed, and looked at his watch.
The universal sign of impatience.
Right. And normally, I would just look at my phone. But for some reason, I just looked at him and said, looks like we're going to be here a while.
Simple.
So simple. Not clever, not funny, just a fact. And his face completely changed. He smiled, his shoulders dropped, and he said, yeah, I guess I didn't need to rush here after all. And we just chatted for 2 minutes about traffic and grocery prices.
And how did you feel afterward?
I felt better. I felt lighter. It wasn't a deep connection. I don't know his name. I'll never see him again. But for those 2 minutes, we weren't just strangers standing alone. We were in it together.
That is such a nice story. It makes me think about how we view connection. We think connection has to be deep. We think it has to be sharing secrets or dreams. But there is a very specific kind of comfort in just sharing a moment with a stranger.
It validates your reality.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if I'm standing in that line and I'm frustrated and I keep it inside, it's just my frustration. It feels heavy. But if I say it out loud and someone else says, yeah, me too, then suddenly my feelings are valid. I'm not crazy. I'm just part of the group.
I like that. Part of the group. It's funny though, because even knowing that, I still get stuck in my head. I overthink the opening line.
Overthinking is the enemy of small talk.
It is. I'll see a neighbor and I'll notice they have a new dog, and my brain goes, say nice dog. No, that's too simple. Ask what breed it is. But what if I don't understand the answer? What if the dog jumps on me? And by the time I've thought all that, the neighbor's gone.
The window of opportunity closed while you were having a debate with yourself.
Exactly. I missed the moment because I was trying to script it.
I think a lot of people do that, especially if you're not feeling super confident in your language or just your social skills that day. You want a script. You want to know exactly how it will go.
But conversations never go exactly how you plan.
Never. That's the wild thing about them. It's like tennis. You can practice your serve all day, but once the ball is over the net, you have to react to where it lands. You can't plan the whole game in advance.
That's a great metaphor, and I think that's where the fear comes from. It's the loss of control. When I say hello, I'm inviting chaos, a very small, polite chaos.
Polite chaos. I love that. But the stakes are usually pretty low. If you hit the ball into the net, if you say something silly or there's an awkward pause, nobody dies.
True, nobody dies, but sometimes it feels like you might die.
Okay, fair enough.
Can I tell you my most awkward small talk moment?
Please, I need to hear this.
Okay, elevator. 2 people, me and a man I vaguely recognized from another department. Silence. The elevator was moving so slowly.
The slow elevator is a trap.
It is. I panicked. The silence was too loud, so I turned to him and said, "So, how's your day going?"
That's normal. That's a good question.
He stared at the buttons. He didn't look at me, and he goes, "It's a day." That was it.
Oh no.
"It's a day," and then stopped talking.
That is painful.
And then I laughed like a nervous little laugh, ha ha, and the elevator felt so much smaller. The air left the room.
Did you recover?
I pointed at a random floor and said, "I think I pressed the wrong number." I did not press the wrong number.
You sacrificed yourself to escape.
I did. I got off on the 4th floor. I work on the 7th floor. I had to walk up 3 flights of stairs just to get away from the awkwardness.
That is dedication to avoiding discomfort.
But that's what I mean, that fear of the dead end, when you try and it fails.
But look, you survived. You got a little exercise on the stairs.
That's true. My legs were strong that day.
But seriously, that dead end feeling is why we hate silence. We feel like silence is a failure.
Yes, if we are talking and then we stop and we are just looking at each other, I feel like I'm failing at being a human being. I feel like it's my job to fill the space.
I used to feel that way too. I used to be a filler. If there was a 2-second pause, I would say anything. I would blurt out random facts. Did you know penguins have knees? Just anything to stop the quiet.
Did that work?
No, it usually made things weirder. Because then the other person looks at you like, why are we talking about penguins?
So how did you stop?
I started watching people who are really good at conversations, the people who make you feel calm. And I realized they pause a lot.
They do?
Yeah, they aren't afraid of it. If you finish a sentence, they might just look at you and nod for a second before they answer. They let the words hang in the air.
That sounds confident.
It is confident. It shows they are listening, not just waiting to talk.
I think that is the key difference, listening to hear versus listening to respond.
Right. When I was nervous, I was listening to respond. While you were talking, I wasn't really hearing you. I was busy writing my next sentence in my head. Okay, she's talking about her cat. As soon as she stops, I will tell my story about a dog.
I've definitely done that, and then you miss the nuance. Maybe I wasn't talking about the cat being cute. Maybe I was saying the cat is sick and I'm sad. And if you jump in with a happy dog story, it's completely wrong.
Exactly, and that's when it gets awkward because we aren't on the same wavelength.
So allowing a little silence actually helps you understand the emotion better.
It gives your brain time to catch up, to process the tone.
I'm trying to get better at that, just sitting in the pause. It's hard though.
It takes practice. It's like a muscle. You have to train yourself to not panic. Just take a sip of your coffee. That's a great trick, by the way.
The coffee sip?
The prop. If you have a drink, you can take a sip during a pause. It looks natural. It buys you 5 seconds of silence that feels totally normal.
That is practical advice. I need to carry a mug everywhere I go.
It helps. But, Jennifer, what about the other side of it? We talked about starting and the middle. What about ending?
Oh no, the exit.
The exit is harder than the entrance, I think.
I agree 100%. I have stayed in conversations for 20 minutes longer than I wanted to just because I didn't know how to leave.
Me too. You start shifting your feet toward the door, you angle your body away, but you keep talking.
And you start saying things like, anyway, or so.
The classic so with a downward intonation. It signals, I am done now.
But sometimes the other person doesn't catch the signal. They just keep talking, and then you feel trapped.
I used to escape like a coward.
How?
I'd fake a phone vibration. I'd tap my pocket like, oh, sorry, like I was getting a call.
No, you didn't?
Yep, I'm not proud. I would pretend to check a message that didn't exist.
That is hilarious. I've definitely pretended to look at a clock that wasn't there.
And then, one day, I realized it's kinder to just be warm and honest. Faking it creates this weird energy.
So what do you do now without the fake phone?
I use the past tense trick.
What's that?
I summarize the interaction. I say something like, it was really great catching up with you, Jennifer.
Ah, it was past tense.
Yes, it signals the event is over. And then I state my next action. I'd better get back to work, or I need to go find my friend. And then, this is the most important part, I actually move.
You physically walk away.
Yes, you have to commit to the movement. If you say, I have to go, but you keep standing there, you're sending mixed signals.
That is so true. I do the lingering thing. I say, I have to go, but I stay planted in the same spot. It's confusing.
It is. And then the other person feels like they have to keep entertaining you.
It's funny how much of this is physical. The eye contact, the pausing, the body language, the walking away. We think of small talk as just words, but it's really a full body performance.
It is, and that's why it's exhausting.
It is exhausting, especially if you are in a new environment, or if you are speaking a language that isn't your first language. I can imagine that adds a whole other layer of stress.
Oh, absolutely. I remember when I was traveling in Italy a few years ago. My Italian is very basic. I can order coffee.
That's the most important thing.
It is. But I remember standing at a bus stop and an older lady started talking to me. She was pointing at the schedule and speaking very fast. She was very animated, using her hands, lots of emotion, and I just froze.
What did you do?
I panicked. I wanted to connect. I wanted to be the friendly traveler, but my brain just went blank. I couldn't access the words, so I just smiled and nodded.
The universal nod.
But then she asked me a question and I just stood there smiling. It was so awkward.
I feel that. That feeling of, I'm an intelligent adult, but right now I look like a child.
Yes, that's it. You lose your personality. You feel like you can't show who you really are because the words are blocking you.
But you know, looking back, do you think she cared?
Probably not. She probably just thought, oh, he doesn't speak Italian, and moved on. The shame was all in my head.
It usually is. We are our own worst critics.
But this brings me back to the idea of scripts. When you're learning, scripts are helpful. You learn, how are you? I'm fine, thanks.
They're like safety rails. They keep you from falling.
Right. But the problem is, real conversation doesn't stay on the rails. Real conversation goes off-road.
It goes into the mud.
It does. Someone asks, how are you? And instead of saying, fine, they say, oh, honestly, I've had a rough morning. My car broke down.
And suddenly, your script is useless. I am fine, thanks is not the right answer to my car broke down.
No, it is not. And that's the moment of panic. You have to switch from student mode to human mode.
Human mode. I like that. What does human mode look like in that moment?
It looks like empathy. You don't need perfect grammar to show empathy. You can just say, oh no, that is terrible.
Oh no is a very powerful phrase.
It is. It covers so many situations. You don't need a complex sentence. You just need to show that you heard them.
I think that is the core of it, being heard.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the why. Why do we do this? Why do we force ourselves to talk to strangers or colleagues about the weather or sports or traffic?
Because the alternative is isolation.
That's deep, but true.
If we don't have these little bridges, these little ropes we throw at each other, we're just islands. Small talk isn't about the content. It's a signal. It says, I see you. You are safe with me. We're in the same space.
It's a peace treaty.
A micro-peace treaty. I am not an enemy. I am just a person who also thinks it is too hot today.
And that builds trust over time.
It does. Think about your good friends, or even us. We didn't start by talking about our deepest fears or our childhoods.
No, we probably talked about coffee.
We definitely talked about coffee. We probably complained about the office printer.
Oh, I hate that printer.
See? That's connection. Complaining about a printer is a bonding experience.
It really is. We bonded over a shared annoyance.
And from that small, shallow seed, a real friendship grew. But you can't have the deep friendship without the shallow start. You have to earn the depth.
Earn the depth. That's a good way to put it. You can't just walk up to a stranger and ask, what is your biggest regret in life?
I mean, you could, but they would probably call security.
They would. So small talk is the gateway.
It's the warm-up. It stretches the muscles.
I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about being in a new environment, like your Italy trip.
Yeah?
I've noticed something about myself. If I try to invent something smart to say, I freeze. But if I just point to what's already happening, I relax. It's like my brain says, okay, we're not performing, we're just sharing the moment.
That is so true. You take the pressure off yourself and put it on the world around you.
Exactly. Like if I'm at a conference and the food is weird.
Conference food is always weird.
It is, but that's a gift. I can turn to the person next to me and say, I'm not sure what this pastry is supposed to be, and immediately we are friends.
Because you're solving a mystery together.
Yes. Is it cheese? Is it fruit? We are teammates now.
Use the environment. The music, the temperature, the view. It's the one thing you know for sure you have in common. You are both there.
What about when people share too much?
Ah, the oversharer.
Yeah, because sometimes you ask a simple question and you get a very complicated answer. You ask, how are you? And they tell you their entire medical history.
Oh yeah, I've been there. You're just standing by the coffee machine, nodding, hearing about someone's back surgery.
It's tricky because you want to be polite, but it feels like too much.
Some people, they accidentally go very deep, very fast. Maybe they're lonely. Maybe they just need to vent.
So how do you handle that if you're the listener?
That's tough. I think you have to validate them briefly, but not ask follow-up questions.
The follow-up question is the danger.
Right. If they say, my back is killing me, I haven't slept in 3 days, and you say, oh no, why? You are trapped. You just bought a ticket to the whole story.
So instead, you should say,
I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. And then you pivot. Or you exit.
I hope you feel better soon. That's a good closing phrase. It's kind, but final.
It is final. It puts a period at the end of the sentence.
I think navigating these boundaries is what makes people so nervous. It's a dance. You have to step forward, step back, read the other person's signals. It's complex.
It is complex. We shouldn't pretend it's easy. It's a high-level social skill. But the good news is, you get points just for trying.
Do you think so?
I do. Even if you're awkward, even if you stumble over your words, people generally appreciate the effort. They know you were trying to be friendly.
I think that's especially true with language learners. When I hear someone trying to speak my language, even if they make mistakes, I just feel warmth toward them. I respect the bravery.
Exactly. Bravery. It takes courage to speak up.
I want to ask you about a specific situation.
Go ahead.
The what do you do question.
Ah, the classic party question.
I have a complicated relationship with that question.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's the default, right? You meet someone, you say your name, and then what do?
It feels lazy, and it also feels limiting.
Limiting how?
Because it defines me by my job, and sometimes I don't want to be my job. Sometimes I want to be the person who likes gardening or the person who is reading a great book, but the question forces me back into my professional box.
I get that. It creates a hierarchy too. People instantly judge, oh, that's a good job, or oh, that sounds boring.
Exactly. So, do you have alternatives? If we are trying to master the art of small talk, how do we break that pattern?
I've been trying to ask questions that are more open, less about facts, more about feelings or current context.
Give me an example.
Okay, so instead of what do you do at a party, I might ask, how do you know the host?
That's a classic. It establishes a link.
Right. Or if it's a Friday, I ask, do you have any good plans for the weekend?
I like that one. It gives them a choice. They can talk about their family or a hobby or just sleep. It lets them choose what's important to them right now.
Exactly. You are handing them the microphone and saying, talk about what you like.
And if they say, I'm just going to sleep all weekend, you can relate to that too.
Oh, that's the best answer. Me too. I love sleep. Instant connection. I have another one I like to use. I ask, are you working on anything exciting lately?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Because it doesn't have to be work. They might say, actually, I'm painting my kitchen, or I'm trying to learn to bake bread. It opens the door for passion.
And people's eyes light up when they talk about something they're actually interested in.
Yes, and that makes the conversation easier for you because you don't have to do the work. You just have to listen to them talk about sourdough bread.
And throw in a few wows and reallys.
Exactly. You just keep the ball in the air.
You know, there's a recurring theme here, Jennifer.
What's that?
That good small talk is actually about being generous.
Generous?
Yeah, it's generous to ask a question. It's generous to listen. It's generous to smile at someone when you're both tired. It's not about you performing, it's about giving the other person a moment of attention.
That takes the pressure off, doesn't it?
It changes everything. If I walk into a room thinking, everyone look at me, I need to be impressive, I will be a nervous wreck. But if I walk in thinking, I'm going to make one person feel comfortable today, that is a job I can do.
That is a manageable goal.
It is.
What about when it goes wrong, like really wrong?
When you crash and burn,
Yeah, you make a joke and nobody laughs, or you ask a question and they give a one-word answer. Yes, and then silence.
oof, the one-word answer, the conversation killer.
It hurts. It physically hurts.
It does, but you have to remember it might not be about you.
Say more about that.
Maybe they are shy. Maybe they are having a terrible day. Maybe they are distracted. Maybe they just had a fight with their partner on the phone. You don't know.
So don't take it personally.
Try not to. If you throw the ball and they don't catch it, just drop it. It's okay. You can excuse yourself. Well, enjoy your coffee and walk away.
You don't have to force it.
No, a conversation is a two-way street. If the other person keeps putting up a roadblock, you can just turn around. You don't have to smash through the wall.
That is very liberating. I think sometimes we feel like it's our responsibility to make the conversation work no matter what. Like we have to carry the whole weight.
That's too heavy. You can't carry it alone. It's 50-50.
I want to talk a little bit about the role of curiosity.
Curiosity is the fuel.
I feel like when I am genuinely curious, the nervousness goes away because I'm focused on the answer, not on myself.
Yes, if you actually want to know the answer, your voice changes, your face changes. People can tell the difference between a polite question and a curious question.
A polite question is flat. How was your weekend?
A curious question has energy. So, did you actually get to go to the beach?
And tone of voice does so much work there.
So much. We obsess over vocabulary, but intonation is the music. It carries the emotion. You can say really in 5 different ways, and it means 5 different things.
Really means I'm surprised. Really means I'm skeptical. Really means I'm impressed.
And really, with a flat tone, just means I'm bored.
True. So for someone listening who feels stiff, maybe focusing on the music of the voice helps.
It helps you sound more human and less like a textbook.
Robots don't have intonation. Humans have melody.
And humans laugh. We haven't talked about laughter.
Laughter is the best lubricant for small talk.
It diffuses tension instantly. If you can laugh at yourself, if you trip or spill your coffee or say a word wrong, if you laugh first, everyone relaxes.
Self-deprecation. It's a very useful tool.
It shows confidence. It shows you don't take yourself too seriously.
I used to be afraid to make mistakes. If I said the wrong word, I would turn red and want to disappear.
And now?
Now I usually just say, wow, my brain is not working today, and laugh.
And people love that. They relate to it because their brains also stop working sometimes.
It makes you relatable. Perfection creates distance. Vulnerability creates connection.
That is profound, Jennifer.
Well, I've had a lot of coffee.
The caffeine is unlocking the philosophy.
But it's true. Small talk is, at its heart, an act of vulnerability. You are exposing yourself to potential rejection, even in a tiny way.
And doing it anyway.
And doing it anyway.
You know, thinking back to when I was younger, I used to think adults had it all figured out. I thought everyone else had a secret manual for how to talk to people.
Me too. I thought everyone was confident except me.
But the older I get, the more I realize we're all just improvising.
We are all just making it up as we go along.
Some people are just better actors, but inside, everyone has that little moment of hesitation.
That makes me feel better. We are all on the same level field.
We are.
You know what else has changed? The digital side of small talk.
Oh, interesting. Like texting?
Yes, or instant messaging at work. Slack, Teams, WhatsApp. It's a whole new type of small talk.
It is, and it has its own anxieties.
The typing bubbles.
Oh, the 3 dots. You see them appear and you wait, and then they disappear. And you think, what did they delete?
Yes, it's a different kind of silence. But I find it can be easier for some people.
How so?
Because you have time. If someone asks, "How was your weekend?" on a chat, you have 5 minutes to think about your answer. You don't have that 3-second rule we talked about earlier.
That's true, you can add it. You can make yourself sound cooler than you are.
But it also loses something, doesn't it? It loses the spontaneity.
It does. You miss the facial expressions, you miss the tone. A text that says, sure, can be friendly or it can be angry. You never really know.
That's why I use so many emojis. I'm terrified of being misunderstood.
Me too. I put a smiley face on everything. I'm sending the report now, smiley face, just so they know I'm not mad about the report.
The professional smiley face. It's a necessary tool.
It is. But I think because we do so much digital talking now, the face-to-face stuff feels even more special.
I agree. When you actually stop and look someone in the eye, it has more weight than it used to.
Speaking of weight, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, from the weather to deep philosophy to emojis.
That's the beauty of conversation. You never know where it's going to go.
So, John, if you had to share one thought to hold on to before walking into a room full of strangers, what would it be?
I think it would be lower the bar.
Lower the bar?
Yeah, don't try to be brilliant. Don't try to be the life of the party. Just try to be pleasant. Just try to be present. That's enough.
That's enough. I like that. What about you? I think mine would be interested, not interesting.
Oh, that's good.
If I focus on being interesting, I get anxious. If I focus on being interested in you, I get calm. Because then the spotlight isn't on me, it's on you. And I can just observe and listen.
That shifts the whole dynamic.
It really does. It takes the ego out of it.
You know, looking out the window now, the rain is stopping.
Oh, you're right. The sun is trying to come out.
Maybe that's a sign.
A sign to get back to work?
Or a sign to go get another coffee.
I think I'm gonna try to do that today. Just have one small, easy interaction. Maybe with the barista.
That's a perfect opportunity.
I'll comment on the weather, since it actually changed.
Look, the sun is out. It's a classic for a reason.
It works.
It's been really nice chatting with you, Jennifer.
You too, John. It always is.
We should probably get back to the real world now.
I suppose so. The emails are waiting.
The emails are always waiting.
But at least we had this pause.
Exactly. Enjoy your coffee.
Thanks. You too.
See you later.
Bye.